One of the most talked about topics nowadays is college debt. And why don't we get into that? What is college worth? Should you go to college? Should you decide to not go to college? If you watch Gary Vee at all, you probably saw him with A-Rod recently talking about that he didn't think that college was worth it. And so I don't really take the same approach. I think there is, though, a dollar value that you can place on whether or not college is worth the value or not. And for most colleges, this is going to be a painful video. The threshold that I believe is this $100,000 level. If you're going to take on debt more than $100,000, then I think that you should probably rethink your plan. Why is college not worth more than $100,000? Unless you're going to be a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, or you're going to go to graduate school, what does college really do for you? Why is a loan for college not really affordable? Well, we can actually look at some numbers. This is from the first website that did a loan calculator. And so for an $80,000 loan, you would be paying $1,300 a month for 180 months. That's a lot of money. And if you're only earning, let's say you're making $50,000 a year, you're only taking home about $3,100 a month. And so if you look at these numbers now, you're actually spending about 41% of your take-home income into your student loan, which means I don't know where you're going to live. I mean, you're going to have to go back home to live with mom and dad because you can't afford to get an apartment. So the second set is from Lending Tree. So I think their numbers are probably pretty accurate. So on this one, we have a $100,000 loan, and it's going to take 15 years to pay it off. And so their calculations give us about $1,000 a month. Again, still really high in terms of what you're going to have to pay. Now, that's also deferring everything while you're in college, because I assume you're not making a whole lot of money while you're in school. So being able to pay down that debt during college is probably also unreasonable. So really we want to keep these numbers below $100,000 because at least you'll be able to pay this off at some point. But you really do need to get a job that's going to be paying more than $100,000 in order to pay it off. And for most students in America, college is really a place for social skills. It's not really academically oriented. In fact, there are several magazines that rank party schools. And so I don't think that you need to spend over $100,000 in order to go to a party. This is America. You do not need college to be successful. You only get out of school what you put into school. And so I'm going to have to take the blame from my guidance counselor in high school's lack of ability because I didn't really push the issue. And so what I recommend to all of you in high school is to go to your guidance counselor and demand to ask, what should I do? How do I pick the right path for me? Many high schools in America have a program called Naviance, which we used in our high school. And what it does is it gives a whole bunch of diagnostic tests as to the kinds of things that you might be interested in. It doesn't mean you don't have to go to college, but I wouldn't go to a four-year school. I would go to a community college or a junior college first, get your 2 years under your belt, and then transfer into a four-year school. Because taking on more than $100,000 worth of debt as a person coming right out of college, a 22, 23-year-old, is sort of a ridiculous notion. You have no way of really paying that back. This channel, for instance, you don't need a college degree to be on YouTube. You do need to learn how to use a camera, some editing software, and you do have to have some idea of how to be on camera. So those are skills, and you can learn those skills without college.